We are on a roll, getting this moving, video 2. And thank you for coming back. Thank you so much for all the comments and the great things that you all have said to me and the support. I mean, that's amazing. I took a big leap of faith to try to do this, and it's really been a terrifying experience because I've never really put work out for folks to judge. But everybody has been so supportive, and I'm very thankful of that. So thank you so much. I want to say thank you to my boy Jesse for the background music, my buddy Joe for helping me set all this up, and my beautiful partner who has been supportive through all of this. Thank you. Let's jump into this video. Let's talk about things. Today I want to talk a little bit about being a role model, and this is something that has been coming up. The theme has been coming up all week for me. What happened is I was listening to music and I heard the song Role Models by J. Cole, so it's right in the name, right? But what I really love about that song is that there is a part where he talks about just having no role models, right? And no role models to speak of. And then he talks about the one role model that he kind of latched onto was Uncle Phil from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And this was a man of color who was a judge. And unfortunately, may he rest in peace, he passed away not too long ago. But this figure, right, these figures that we latch onto as kids to try to get a little bit of something that gives us hope that these are things that we can strive for. And I get that. I get that. As a guy who grew up without his biological dad, had my uncle there and other uncles that were there, but there were things that were missing. There was things that I didn't learn and didn't get, and I've had to learn and piece together, especially as a father and somebody who's teaching other fathers about fatherhood. That has been a challenge, but it's been a good challenge because it's helped me to grow tremendously, and the things that I get to share and the conversations I get to have with dads are amazing. So these videos, the reason I'm putting a lot of these together, the whole idea was that if your dad or your husband or brother or cousin, whoever it is, they can't make it to a group meeting, or you think that there's something in one of these videos that I put together that you think they should hear, have them check it out. It's only a few minutes. It's not a big portion of their life. They don't have to go anywhere. They can sit back. You can throw it on the cell phone, on the TV, and they can check it out and just have a little bit of a discussion with themselves. Or you can have them hit me back, send me a comment, and I'm happy to talk about things and discuss some more of the information a little more. So let's go back to role models, right? Thinking about this idea of role models, and I really had to come to terms with what is a role model, what does that mean for me? And the reason for that is because I started to get looked at as a role model for other especially young men and young fathers. Not that I'm a super young father, but I still did start kind of getting assigned that role. And I said to myself, well, okay, you don't really get to choose whether you're a role model. You don't nominate yourself. Others kind of start to look at you when you do things that they're just kind of like, okay, I can respect that. That's cool. So you kind of what you got to start to kind of recognize is like, what kind of role model do you want to be? And that's what I had to think about myself. I had to think, what kind of role model do I want to be? Do I want to be a role model that kind of goes with what has kind of already been put forth, what the things that I learned, and just kind of stick to that and keep it simple and not challenge myself? And I don't think so. Malcolm X used to say that a life that is not examined is not a life worth living. And I want to live by those words. I really think that we need to examine the things that we do, and we need to look at the interactions with our fathers and the things that they did and didn't do, and say, okay, where do I need to fill in the gaps? What can I do for my kids? And we're seeing dads be more involved with their kids in different events and different parts of schooling and just everyday life, and I think that's amazing. I think that's wonderful, and I think that is exactly the direction that we need to take into, but we just need to figure out, how do we make these interactions more constructive and make sure that they are respectful of other people? And so thinking about role models, that kind of leads into the first thing that I wanted to bring up, is the idea of respect, of being respectful of others, whether it be their family situation, the things they're going through, their ideas, their sexuality, their, just beliefs, their political views. We can be respectful. We can be respectful. We don't always have to agree on everything. And in fact, we shouldn't, because then there's no progress and it kind of gets scary because everybody kind of does the same thing. But we can be respectful, and we should also be open, right? We should also be open to get our ideas challenged. Not everything we do, we didn't learn it all from our fathers. I mean, not to say that our fathers were good or bad. And before we go any further, I don't like binaries, right? Good or bad. Nobody's completely good. Nobody's completely bad, at least for the most part. I think most of us have our good and bad moments. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to build ourselves so that we move forward, and the things that we do are more positive, right? They're moving towards a positive kind of, in a positive direction, and they're constructive, which I think is the important thing to think about, that it's constructive and it's building things that are going to be helpful and are going to help others as well as the ones that we care about. And being just a man of color, these things have really, really been kind of, these ideas have really been kind of moving around in my head, and I've been thinking about them a lot. And how do I do that? How do I show respect? And how can I be respectful to other young men while still challenging old ideas and ideas that are problematic and things that they might say sometimes that are harmful to others? And again, thinking about the idea of having respect, that I can challenge them respectfully, but I always have to understand that I respect their humanity and I respect their dignity, and that I'm not challenging them in order to be destructive, where I'm trying to put them down, but to help them build and to look forward and to look further than what they've been used to, and to challenge them a little bit. So I think that's respect. And the next thing is to be open, and I think that goes with that idea of respect, of being open to ideas, being open to situations, being open to new experiences, and being open to just let people be who they want to be, right? Not everybody's going to follow the same path, and that's good. That's cool. That's great. That's why we have, tons of different types of music, tons of different types of flavors of ice cream, because people like these different varieties, and folks come to things the way that they come to them, and it's cool. Some people see beauty and some people don't in certain things, and we just need to let that be, and we need to just be understanding and be okay with that. The world's a big place. The world's a big place. There's a lot of people, something like 7 billion, right? So there's going to be variety. Variety is a great thing, all right? The next thing is to be knowledgeable and wise. And I think part of the reason that I wanted to to start doing some of these videos was because I wanted to bring a little more into this virtual space, into this digital space, a little more information that is based on sound opinion, right? Again, all this stuff is, it is my opinion, but it's based on the fact that I have an education. It's based on the fact that I have these experiences, and I'm open to sharing and changing them if something that I do is something that I feel is not constructive, it's not building things. I'm open to making those changes, and we have a lot of the opposite right now, so I think we need to kind of start to flood the market with some of these things. The next thing is to be patient and just give people time, right? Not everybody comes to things at the same time. I know as a young man, I did some dumb things, but it took a while, and people gave me room, and I had people that were extremely patient, and people to this day that are patient with me when I make knucklehead mistakes, that give me that room to make those mistakes and then get back up and try again and say, you know what, I'm sorry, dust myself off, that was not right. But it's just that idea of looking in the mirror and saying, I could be better than this. I can be better than this, right? And I think that's the challenge that I want to pose to dads and to men out there, is how can we be better than our fathers? How can we be better than the men that came before us, and show respect for women and love our children and show them that we love them and be there for them and be involved, right? That's the challenge that we need to start to figure out. And I will say that folks are opening up doors, and I'm going to do my best also to be on the other side of that and advocate for the opening of those doors and those spaces, right? So that we can go to school site councils and be involved in committees and do these things, but we need to do it. We need to be involved. It's not just mom's responsibility, okay? So take that idea. All right, this is my first challenge to you. Or not my first, but one of my challenges to you is take that idea of that's mom's responsibility and toss that. It's done. It's done, right? We're better than that. We're stronger than that, and we can help out and we can do more. All right, we love our kids, right? So let's do more. Let's do more. Next thing is to have manners. Just be respectful of you. Again, this goes back to being respectful, being open and knowledgeable. You know, and I'm talking about everyday manners. Just thank you, please, doing things for people, being kind to each other. You know, one of the things that I think I always do, and I think this goes back to this idea of manners, is, you know, when I'm leaving somewhere and I'm walking out, I don't let the door just kind of shut behind me. I'll kind of take a peek back to make sure nobody's coming, so I'm not letting it go in their face. And to me, that's just a way of me being respectful for somebody else, saying your humanity matters to me as much as mine does. And it's a small gesture, and it may seem meaningless, but that's my way. That's one of my ways of saying, hey, you know what? You're another human being. I respect that. Let's coexist, right? I know. Say what you will, right? Comments are always welcome. I'd love to hear what you think about these things, but so I'm going to go ahead and cut this video short because I don't want it to get too long. I want folks to be able to watch it, get a quick snippet, and just kind of have a discussion. Send me videos. Send me comments. Send me points for discussion, things that you want to talk about, or things you think I might have missed, right? I'm human. I'll miss things. So I can't capture everything in this small video, but let me know. Talk to me, folks. I want to hear from you, please. And you can reach me at chicanomadman on Twitter, chicanomadman@gmail.com, and you can catch me on YouTube, and you can subscribe, and I will see you the next video. The next video we'll be talking about manhood, and I think that's going to be a really good video, and we're going to touch on a lot of great points that are going to connect right back to this. So I will see you next time. It was great to see everybody, even though I can't really see you, but you know, folks say that, which is weird, but it's great to be here. It's great to be doing these videos and to be able to do this and to have your support. So thank you very much. Have a great rest of the week, and hopefully I will see you soon.